This segment is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System. Your partner is good health. All right, welcome to Bayou Time. Very excited to have this program today because we're going to talk about opportunities for young people trying to get aboard at Chouest. I know everyone's heard the name Chouest. So we have a great panel today, and you may be asking, what is this all about? Well, stick around. We're going to explain it to you. Let's meet our panel, star-studded panel. We have Mr. Shannon Ducey, Senior Operations Manager. Good to see you, Shannon.
Thank you.
All right, we also have Mr. Carlos Gaspard, Director of Maintenance at Edison Chouest Offshore. Good to see you again.
Same as well.
Record holder at Edie White, by the way. And we have Mr. Al Archer, who's the Maintenance Technician at ECO. And good to see you, Al.
Sir. Thank you
again.
Thank you.
And Mr. Craig Plaisance, the Manager, Training and Licensing at ECO. Craig, good to see you again.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
All right, in the audience, we have Jacob Pierce. He is one of the scholarship recipients. We wanted to have somebody on hand, and we're going to get to Jacob in a second because he has a great opportunity. So right now, I want to go to Mr. Shannon Ducey, and this is unbelievable. We were talking a little bit before the show. I don't know if I've ever heard of an opportunity like this. It's incredible. I have a lot of questions, but let me give you an opportunity to sort of set the stage for it, and then we'll go from there.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. It's a pleasure to be here. We're here today to talk about the Edison Chouest Offshore Intern Maritime Scholarship. The program is a 4-year program that affords students from South Lafourche High School to become employees of Edison Chouest Offshore, go through a 4-year period on our vessels, and obtain schooling and an education that will allow them to become officers, either third mate unlimited up in the wheelhouse or third assistant engineers down below. That is the equivalent ticket of a Texas A&M or a Maine Maritime certificate at the end of their programs.
This is incredible because, and I say this because in talking, you're going to give young people a chance to learn a trade. They're going to get paid to learn a trade. They're going to develop that trade, and the salaries that I've been looking at, which we'll talk about in a second, are pretty incredible. They're going to have insurance, so their families won't have the burden of garnering the insurance, and then y'all get to train them, so they don't go off somewhere, come back, and then you have to retrain them according to your standards. They learn on your standards. Is that correct?
That's correct, sir. They'll be employed for the 4-year period on the vessels. They'll work a 14 on schedule and a 14 off, and 5 days of the 14 days off, they will attend classes. So the whole 4-year period, they'll work half the year and attend school a portion of the year, and then have time off as well. They'll be in a structured program. They'll earn wages while they're on the vessel, and the school portion will be covered by Edison Chouest Offshore at our training facility that Mr. Craig runs.
I was writing down as you were talking earlier. They're going to have freedom. They're going to get to.
Yes, sir.
They're going to get to be a young person.
Yes, sir.
And enjoy some time off and enjoy whatever they want to do. They're going to have schooling. They're going to have wages. They're going to get skills, but under those wages, and I'm going to get, and we were joking with Jacob a little bit, you get to go buy a truck, get to get a four-wheeler, get a boat. But, and I think I heard Carlos say it right, they got to show up to work.
Yes, sir.
And they got to be accountable. So you're teaching them
yes, sir.
accountability too.
Yes, sir. And it's important to be said that at the end of this program, unlike most college programs, the student and the family will not owe Edison Chouest any monies. The certificate that the student earns will be the student certificate, not Edison Chouest Offshore certificate, and there will be no financial burden on the parents during the period. Mm-hmm. The student will earn wages, and the student will be afforded classes at Edison Chouest Offshore.
Yeah, so Shannon, before I get to the other panel members, how did this come about? Because the whole time you were explaining it to me, I was thinking of the armed forces, where they recruit people to come in, they pay for their college, they pay for their education, and this sounds pretty good. I mean, when you look at this chart that you gave me and you look at the amounts of monies that they can make, I almost think I wish I was at South Lafourche about 40 years ago. This would have been a good deal.
Yeah. This came about through Mr. Gary Chouest's passion to employ the young people in Terrebonne and Lafourche Parish, and really on the Gulf Coast. Mr. Gary has a growing business, been in business a long time, but he often says that without our employees, we're dead in the water. Mm-hmm. So he has a passion to get the young people in Terrebonne and Lafourche Parish back acclimated with the marine industry. So this is a dovetail off of the House Piper program, which is a program for mariners to come into the marine industry and advance, but it's not based on any type of academy. So this program was developed to afford students an opportunity to come into the marine industry, educate their parents on what's available in the marine industry and the opportunities they could have, and put them through a 4-year program and jumpstart the House Piper program again and get it going through a passion for employing young people in Terrebonne and Lafourche.
Let's do this. We'll take a short break and pay a few bills. When we come back, we're going to talk to the rest of the panel, and then we're going to get to our young guest on the floor. He's going to tell us why this excites him. We'll be right back. This segment was brought to you by Barker Honda. It's better at Barker. All right, we're back. We're talking about an innovative new way to get people to work for your company. And Chouest has come up with really what I think is a brilliant idea to get workforce involved and employ their whole area and reach out in other areas. So this might be a good thing to share with some of the young ones out there. And I say young, I guess maybe because I'm getting a little older. But anyway, get them enticed to get into a profession that's really proven to be a pretty good company, real good company over the years. So we talked to Shannon. Now let's go to Carlos Gaspar now, who's the Director of Maintenance at Edison, Chouest Offshore. And why is this so important to you? You've been there for a long time. And why is this so important to you?
Well, Martin, when we were all coming up, it was always, you're going to go to work, but you couldn't find a job, and it was, you end up on a boat. There's always the boat. This program becomes not always the boat. Becomes the primary. It gets the kids, the local kids, interested in working in the marine industry. And all they have to do is look to their neighbors. The neighbor, somebody lives next door to you, works in the marine industry. Mm-hmm. And that's how we were all raised, and I think it's an opportunity. It's a great opportunity. I think it's a great idea, and we're going to make it work. And we're starting to get a lot of kids reaching out because of these boys and girls that we awarded the scholarships to. They've spread the word already, so it's already bearing fruit. So it's going to be a good opportunity.
And Al, I'm going to turn to you real quick, Al Archer, who, of course, maintenance technician at ECO. It's a good opportunity for Mr. Gary Chouest and, of course, his whole management team and y'all to sort of keep an industry and a tradition in the forefront, keep everybody thinking of it, because like we all know, if there's a gap in there, it could affect it. But really, that whole area is known, like you said, neighbors all working in a lot of the same places. It sort of keeps a very nice tradition going, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Thanks for having us again, Mr. Martin. Yeah. Being involved in the local school system like we are, it helps to keep that process and that mentality going, reinvesting back into the community, reaching out to the schools, reaching out to our seniors, sending the message that we're here, what we're trying to do to continue that thought and that culture going. Yes.
Okay. Now I want to turn to Mr. Craig Plaisance, the manager of training and licensing at ECO. And a while ago, we were talking about the House Piper You are one, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Explain that again to the audience.
So
What that means.
in 84, I got into the marine industry, and basically what you do, you go in the vessels and you learn putting your hands on things and what have you, and you get a certain amount of sea days and you test for your next level and you move up with no schooling at all. So that's how I was brought up and learned on the vessels. And now they're required to take training and schooling. So we opened up the training center in 2000, and we've been training people there. And one of the benefits of getting these young men and women at the beginning, I call it planting a seed. You plant the seed and you grow them within, and at the end of the growth spurt, they're what you need them to be. So you turning out great mariners, and they're trained to our standards. We know they know the way we operate. They know what we expect of them. They know that it's secure where they're at. So it's a great opportunity for the young men and women to come into the industry. And there's nobody on this panel right here that started where we at right now. I started on the vessels. Shannon and Carlos was in the yards. Mr. Al was at the school board. So once you get in there, you know, who knows where you're going to end up in the company.
Right.
And we continually growing throughout the world. So,
You know, we were joking about it, but I'm looking at this amount of money, and let me come back before we get to our guest on the third segment. But I want to come back to Shannon. These monies on this chart are eye-popping. I mean, we're not talking about $10,000 and $20,000. We're talking about, on some of these things, in excess of $300,000.
yes.
Explain that.
The scholarship fund, that calculation is calculated over a 4-year period of wages, benefits, and schooling. So the mariner on the upside is $356,000 that's afforded to the student in a 4-year period of opportunity based on those categories: his benefits, his wages, and his schooling. On that pamphlet you have there values the classes, and you can see there what each Coast Guard approved class, if he had to pay on the open market, what it would cost him. So that's the value. And if you look at the bottom of the sheet that you're looking at, it'll show you what that mariner's worth in today's market when he's finished that pamphlet in your hand. So you'll see those numbers in up to $900 a day wages after a 4-year period of the program that the student will be able to make per day.
Did y'all bring an application for me? I say because I've never quite seen this. This is pioneering
One of a kind.
at its best, and it really is good.
A lot of people never saw it. So that's what we're trying to do, is make people aware of the opportunities that they have out there. You know,
It's a good deal. And I can't wait to hear from Jacob, who's sitting in the studio here, and he's going to be, well, how many scholarships y'all gave this year?
9.
Okay. And so we have a picture. Let's bring it up before we go to the break, Jason, if we could. And that's some of the scholarship recipients. And I don't have all their names, but I don't know if y'all have their names and you want to talk about them. Y'all have the names
I
of them?
don't have it.
Okay, well, we'll get them on another hitch, but let's take a break. When we come back, we are going to the studio floor here, and Jacob Pierce is going to tell us why he's signed up and ready to go. This segment was brought to you by A.J. Doman Chevrolet. We say yes when others say no. All right, we're back, and I know all of you have heard about Chouest companies here and there for quite some time. Mr. Gary Chouest and all of his team doing a great job and really have employed so many people. On my panel today, we're talking about the Chouest Maritime Intern Scholarship Program. And I want to go to a picture because during the break, Al pulled out the names of the recipients. So, Mr. Al, if you could tell us who they are.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. The recipients are Gabe Billiot, Carter Kudell, Eric Galicia, Jose Garcia, Lena Marie Guidry, Hayden Abair, Aidan McCartney, Jacob Pierce, and Jean-Eric Vizier.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for that. And I
Yes,
want to
sir.
go down to the floor. Jacob Pierce is standing by, and he is here representing those students today. And Jacob, first of all, thank you for coming to HTV,
sir.
and
Thank
we
you.
appreciate it. How are you?
I'm good, and you?
All right, tell me everything about, this is a great opportunity for you. So in your own words, how did you hear about it? How did it come about?
Well, I heard about it from a counselor at her school. She had called my mom, and gave her the paper that y'all have right there. Yes, sir. And it really caught my eye, I'm sure, the money. The money caught my eye. And I think it's something that I'm going to be interested in to do.
Right.
So, yeah.
But you grew up around that, I guess like the panel was saying, you could look around your neighborhood and you can have a lot of people probably employed by someone in this field. And so it's not like you're a stranger to it, right?
No, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. What are you looking forward to most in this program?
Looking forward to just learning something new, making money, be able to buy my own truck one day, hopefully, and also meeting new people throughout the way.
Now, man, I asked you, I'd be not doing my duties if I wasn't going to ask you about your truck. What color is your truck going to be? And are you going to have the big tires on it? What is it going to look like?
I don't want nothing too big with the tires, but I want like a gray type color truck. Yes, sir.
Gray color. All right. That's something you've been dreaming about, getting a truck?
Yes, sir.
What, you just turned 18?
Just turned 18, and I'm coming from a big family, so I never got a newer car. So that's what I want, a truck.
Did you say you were from one of 10?
1 of 10, yes, sir.
Wow. And where are you in the pecking order?
I'm number 6.
Wow.
Yeah.
So now I'm not giving any aspirations that mom and dad couldn't afford things, but did you do without for most of your life because being one of 10?
I mean, I played sports, but my mom and dad helped me through a lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
like they paid my way through everything.
They worked hard, huh?
Yeah, my dad, he does an engineer company, Delta
Yeah.
Coast Consultants.
Oh,
My
yeah.
mom's a teacher, but yeah,
So they worked hard for those 10 children.
yes, sir, they do.
So now you get a chance to pay your own way.
Yes, sir, I do.
That's fantastic. When are you starting, or have you started?
No, I have not started yet. I mean, on the application it says like fill out a date. I was planning on starting a little later, not like too late, but maybe sometime July. I was
Okay.
planning on. Yes,
So
sir.
get a little playtime in.
Get a few vacations in before I get into the real world.
Yeah, because accountability, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but you look like you got a good handle on things, and your parents probably taught you a good way. So now you get to get into the working world,
Of course, yes, sir.
and that's exciting, isn't it?
Yes, sir, it is. Be able to make my own money.
And to work for a company like Chouest, I'm sure you have heard of Mr. Gary Chouest and all the panel up here. That's a pretty big deal.
Of course. And if you go down the Bayou, you go towards like down South Lafourche, you just see their buildings, and it really catches your eye.
Yeah.
Some nice buildings.
And we appreciate you coming on board and let us know how you feel.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you.
All right, so let's let me go back to Shannon real quick. We got about a minute and a half left. How can people sign up for this?
Right now, the intern scholarship is only afforded to people at South Lafourche High School, seniors. We have an email address on our pamphlet. The student council and the faculty at South Lafourche has a pamphlet, and the email comes to the people up here on the panel, so they can apply that way.
And is it
And,
intern@chouest.com?
Yes, sir. Intern@chouest.com.
Okay, and this is fantastic. Y'all get all the
Yes, sir.
emails
We get the
and
sir.
y'all
Correct.
assess everything.
That's correct.
Answer all
Answer
their
the questions.
questions, whatever. One of us in this group's going to help you
We're going to
out.
return the email.
Okay, this is like American Idol, huh? in the maritime
Yeah.
field.
Right.
All right, this is fantastic. I want to thank y'all for coming on and sharing this with us. This is really groundbreaking and pioneering in its best sense. Thank y'all
Thank
for what
you.
y'all do for the area too. Y'all mean a lot to the area, and I would venture to say, where would we be without a company like Chouest? Y'all employ so many people, and thank y'all for what you do.
Thanks for having
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Jacob, congratulations.
Yes,
over
sir.
there.
Thank you. I
All
appreciate
right,
it.
we'll take a short break. We'll be back a lot more right here on HTV. Don't go away. This segment was brought to you by Cardiovascular Institute of the South, providing our patients the highest quality cardiovascular care available.